What's up, guys? It's Matt, and today I want to talk about self-love. We all know that loving ourselves feels good, but some of us are a bit scared of it because we motivate ourselves through shame and guilt and loathing, and we're worried that if we love ourselves, we won't be motivated to do things. And what I've found in coaching, in teaching, in my own life, is that self-love is actually a more stable source of motivation than self-loathing and guilt and shame. And the reason for that is that when you love people, you want them to have good things in their life. You want them to achieve their goals. Whereas when you see people as shameful or guilty or you loathe them, you probably don't want them to have good things in your life. So if you're motivating yourself by shame and guilt and self-loathing, you're actually creating this tension where, sure, you feel guilty to say you want to do things, but also you don't want yourself to actually get things because you loathe yourself. So there's this subtle self-sabotage going on at all times when you're using that form of motivation. So today I want to talk about 3 tips for self-love and how to transition from that shame, guilt-based motivation into the self-love motivation. The first problem with self-love is that we find it hard to express love to ourselves. We don't think we deserve it. We don't know how to talk about it. And so the solution to this is to split ourselves in 2. It's much easier to imagine how a parent would talk to a child that they love. It's easy to imagine how a friend would talk to another best friend. It's easy to imagine how a pet parent or a pet owner would talk to their puppy or other cute animal. It's easy to imagine how a lover who loves their other lover with unconditional love would talk to them. And we're just going to imagine that we are in that relationship talking to ourselves. So I can imagine I'm a parent with unconditional love talking to a child. I can imagine I'm a friend with unconditional love talking to my best friend. I can imagine I'm a pet parent with unconditional love talking to a puppy. And I can just say and express my love in that imagination. The second trick is that there's going to be a progression with this. At the beginning, you might just have trouble finding the words and expressing yourself and figuring out what to say. Things like, hey, I'm here for you no matter what. Things like, I'm proud of you. Things like, you're doing a great job. Things like, it's okay. All of these things are things you might say and express. You might just have trouble getting into that flow. To start, you just want to think of what you would say, what you would think, your thoughts about that person. Right? That's step 1. Step 2 is feeling. How would you feel that unconditional love as a parent or as a friend or as a pet parent or as a lover? That's step 2. Is actually beginning to feel yourself expressing the love. Step 3 is you actually want to go to the other side. What would it feel like to receive that love as a child who implicitly trusts and loves their parent? To receive that love as a best friend who implicitly loves and trusts their friend. So you actually believe that this person loves you in that way, and what does that feel like? You're going to split yourself into 2, and you're going to go through these 3 sections. The question is, how do you use this in conjunction with your existing strategy, self-loathing, guilt, etc. The typical thing that we might do is turn away from that old strategy. When we hear ourselves doing that strategy, say, no. And instead, I'm going to talk over that strategy with self-love. The problem with this is that you can't respond with self-loathing to get in self-love. If you loathe the part of yourself that loathes yourself, you're just compounding on your old self-loathing strategy. So instead, the trick is to love the part of you that loathes. Okay, so when you see yourself self-loathing, instead of saying, oh no, I can't do self-loathing, you're going to start loving that part of you. Hey, thank you for looking after me. I appreciate and love what you're doing for me. I appreciate that you want me to succeed. I love that you are having high standards for me. And love can also be steering someone in the direction and saying, hey, I love what you're doing, and I don't necessarily think this is the best way to meet your goals. And then, only then, once you've loved that self-loathing monster, do you then move on to loving the one that was being loathed, the one that didn't do anything. And you can love that it was trying to rest, that it was trying to protect you from failure, that it was trying to do all these things to protect you. Again, it might not have the best strategy. You might think that there are better ways to be safe, there are better ways to rest, but you can still love that part of yourself. unconditionally, even if you believe there are better ways to get its needs met. Only once you've loved the self-loathing monster, and you love the one you loathe, do you expand your love and go to the generalized self-love of all of yourself. And from that place of loving all of yourself, you're going to want yourself to succeed. You're going to want yourself to meet your goals. And you can achieve them from that place. So go love yourself. It's great. And I'll talk to you soon.
I'm going to be putting out a bunch more content over the next few days. So if you're interested in learning, self-improvement, business and strategy, having more impact, or overcoming procrastination, please sign up. We're going to have all those topics over the next few days. Click subscribe, and I'll give you a foot massage.